Oh, there he goes.
From a chilling encounter deep in Washington's wilderness to undeniable photographic evidence that has sparked debates worldwide, these are the most convincing images of Bigfoot ever captured. The mysterious encounter in Washington's wilderness. Imagine escaping the hustle and bustle of city life, retreating to a secluded cabin nestled deep within Washington's ancient forests. Surrounded by towering trees and the serene whispers of nature, an anonymous man sought peace and rejuvenation. Little did he know, his quest for peace would lead to a confrontation with the unimaginable. On his second night, as darkness enveloped the forest, the man sat alone by the crackling fireplace. The only sounds were the soft rustling of leaves and the distant call of nocturnal creatures. Suddenly, a shadow flickered at the edge of his vision. At first he dismissed it, a trick of the light perhaps, or the cabin settling. But an uneasy feeling gnawed at him. Rising to close the blinds, he felt a chill run down his spine. Outside the window, illuminated by the faint glow of the moon, was a face unlike any he had ever seen. The figure was huge, its face framed by tangled dark hair. Deep-set eyes emitted a faint, unnatural glow, piercing through the glass and locking onto his. The creature stood upright on two legs, exuding an aura of both intelligence and primal power. Every hair on the man's body stood on end. This was no bear. The eyes were too large, too far apart, and held a human-like curiosity. Legends of Bigfoot, once dismissed as mere folklore, flooded his mind. But this was real, terrifyingly real. Heart-pounding, he fought against paralyzing fear to reach for his phone. His hands trembled uncontrollably, resulting in several blurry shots. Determined, he steadied himself and continued taking photos. Each flash illuminated the creature's features, the massive frame, the intense gaze, the minute details that would make any skeptic pause. Strangely, the creature didn't retreat or show aggression. Instead, it seemed fascinated by his actions, almost amused by the human's frantic attempts to document the encounter. After what felt like an eternity, the creature slowly turned away, disappearing into the inky blackness of the forest. The man was left standing in stunned silence, the only evidence of the encounter captured on his phone. Sleep was impossible. Every creak of the cabin, every rustle outside, amplified his anxiety. He wondered if the creature would return, if he was truly safe within these wooden walls. The stories he'd heard around campfires now took on a new, horrifying significance.
Oh, there he goes.
With the first light of dawn, he mustered the courage to review the photos. Most were blurred, but a few were unmistakably clear. The images showed a towering figure with features that defied conventional explanation. The gravity of what he possessed weighed heavily on him. Sharing these photos could lead to ridicule or worse. Bigfoot sightings were often met with skepticism, accusations of hoaxes, and public mockery. Determined yet cautious, he decided to share his experience anonymously. Using a pseudonym, he uploaded the images to various Facebook groups dedicated to Bigfoot enthusiasts and researchers. He hoped to find a community that might understand, or at least believe his account. The aftermath of an unbelievable encounter. After the man shared his photos anonymously, he braced himself for the inevitable reactions. Bigfoot sightings have always been polarizing. Skeptics are quick to dismiss them as fabrications, often accusing witnesses of seeking attention or spreading hoaxes. But the man's decision to share his evidence wasn't driven by a desire for fame. Instead, it was a need to unburden himself of the truth, a truth he could no longer keep to himself. Posting the images online, he opted for Facebook groups where Bigfoot enthusiasts gathered. He hoped to find a community that would approach his story with curiosity rather than derision. Within hours, the images went viral. Debates erupted across social media and forums as people dissected every pixel of his photos. Believers rallied behind the man's account. They argued that the details captured in the photos were too precise to be fabricated. The creature's size, posture, and unique physical features aligned with descriptions from countless other sightings. Comparing the photos to previous reports, they found eerie consistencies that only solidified their conviction. To enthusiasts, this was the breakthrough they'd been waiting for. Many claimed it was the most convincing evidence of Bigfoot to emerge in years. They saw the man's account as a critical piece of a puzzle that stretched back centuries. On the other side of the debate, skeptics were relentless in their scrutiny. They highlighted the blurry edges of some photos and questioned why the man hadn't captured video footage. To them, the story seemed too convenient: a lone witness, an anonymous source, and no corroborating evidence beyond a few still images. They asked why the man chose to remain anonymous if he genuinely believed in the importance of his discovery. Some suggested the encounter was a hoax crafted with careful storytelling and digital manipulation. These criticisms cast doubt, but for believers, they only strengthened their resolve to defend the man's story. The photos reignited interest in Washington state as a hotspot for Bigfoot sightings. For decades, this region has been at the heart of Sasquatch lore. The dense, sprawling forests provide the perfect habitat for a creature that thrives in isolation. Indigenous legends lend credibility to these modern encounters. Tribes in the Pacific Northwest, such as the Salish and Yakima, have long spoken of a powerful, hairy being they call Sasquatch. According to their lore, the creature is a guardian of the forest, respected and feared for its mysterious presence. These stories describe a being remarkably similar to the one the man encountered, a towering figure with human-like intelligence, often seen at night and vanishing without a trace. To believers, the connection between these ancient tales and modern sightings is impossible to ignore. Throughout the frenzy, the anonymous man remained silent. He chose not to engage further, allowing the images to speak for themselves. For him, the experience was profoundly personal, a brush with the unknown that left an unerasable, indelible mark on his psyche. He struggled with lingering fear and curiosity. Why had the creature appeared to him? Was it a chance encounter, or was there a purpose behind it? The questions haunted him, much like the creature's glowing eyes in the darkness. This encounter challenges our understanding of the world. It blurs the lines between myth and reality, forcing us to consider possibilities beyond our accepted norms. Whether skeptic or believer, the man's experience adds a compelling chapter to the ongoing saga of Bigfoot lore. As discussions continue and the photos circulate, one thing is certain: the forests of Washington hold secrets yet to be fully understood. And for one man seeking solitude, a night of terror became the most convincing evidence of Bigfoot ever taken. The anonymous man's encounter wasn't an isolated incident. Barb, a lifelong Bigfoot enthusiast, shared her own experiences that spanned decades. Her fascination began as a child, listening to campfire stories about mysterious creatures lurking in the forest of the Pacific Northwest. One tale in particular stuck with her, the story of Ape Canyon, where miners reported being attacked by strange ape-like beings. As she grew older, Barb's curiosity deepened. She spent years exploring the wilderness, hoping to uncover the truth behind the legends. But it wasn't until the 1990s that she encountered something that shattered her skepticism. While walking along a logging road near her cabin in 1992, Barb noticed something unusual. Broken tree branches lined the path, as though something immense had forced its way through the woods. Then she saw it.
That one. Oh, okay, no, I'm not. Okay, that's, yeah, you're in the perfect place right there.
A footprint pressed deeply into the dirt, its size and shape unlike anything she'd seen before. She tried to visualize the creature that had left it. The print was clear and detailed, showing the weight and motion of a being far larger than any human. The discovery was a turning point for Barb, pushing her to reconsider everything she thought she knew about Bigfoot. Years later, Barb had another strange experience near her cabin. One spring day, while searching for her missing cat, she saw something fall from a tree. It was furry and black, bouncing off her roof before disappearing into the woods. At first, she dismissed it as an animal, but the more she thought about it, the more convinced she became that it was a young Sasquatch. This belief was solidified in 2012 when she saw a large, dark figure trailing a herd of elk. Its movements were deliberate and fluid, far too human-like to be a bear. For Barb, These sightings confirmed her long-held suspicion. The forests near her cabin were home to a family of Sasquatches. Barb's encounters didn't stop there. Over the years, she noticed an increasing number of strange phenomena. Rocks were thrown near her, branches were arranged in unusual patterns, and glowing orbs of light darted among the trees. These occurrences hinted at an intelligence that went beyond mere animal behavior. One of her most startling experiences came during a group campout. While hiking near her cabin, she saw a black, triangular-shaped head rise above the underbrush before quickly disappearing. Others in her group reported seeing a small, monkey-like figure climbing down a tree headfirst. Later that evening, Barb reviewed her camera footage, hoping to capture evidence of what she'd seen. What she found was shocking. The figure appeared to shift in and out of visibility, as though cloaked in a way that defied explanation. To Barb, this was proof of Sasquatch's paranormal abilities, a theory she had long resisted but could no longer deny. Bridging the legends and the modern mysteries, Barb's discovery of the so-called cloaker phenomenon forced her to confront ideas that were previously unthinkable. Her footage captured something that seemed to disappear and reappear at will, much like the predator-like cloaking seen in science fiction. For Barb, it was undeniable proof of Sasquatch's abilities, further pushing the boundaries of what she thought was possible. Despite her efforts to rationalize past experiences, this event marked a turning point. No longer could she dismiss the peculiar happenings near her cabin, the glowing orbs, the eerie vocalizations, the arranged sticks and branches. Each new encounter deepened her conviction that Sasquatches were not only real, but potentially capable of things that defied conventional understanding. In 2012, Barb joined a campout in the Blue Mountains, a region notorious for mysterious activity. During her stay, she and the group observed glowing eyes in the darkness and felt an unexplainable energy, a phenomenon Barb later described as being zapped or sizzled. This strange sensation, reported by others who have encountered Bigfoot, was unlike anything she had experienced before. It left her shaken yet fascinated, fueling her determination to uncover more about these elusive beings. Barb's interactions with Sasquatches extended beyond sightings. Over time, she noticed peculiar objects left near her cabin, small trinkets, stones, and other items that seemed intentionally placed. To her, these were gestures of acknowledgement, perhaps even communication attempts from the creatures. Each time she discovered these objects, it felt like a subtle reminder of their presence. Yet, the deeper she dived into their world, the more she realized how much remained unknown. Were these gifts warnings, curiosities, or something else entirely? While Barb's story unfolded in her secluded cabin, another chilling encounter took place in Washington's Olympic Forest. Joseph, accompanied by his girlfriend and their dog Tina, set out for a hike that would forever alter their perception of the woods. As they went deeper into the forest, Tina, normally fearless, began whining and cowering behind Joseph's girlfriend. This uncharacteristic behavior alarmed them, prompting a closer observation of their surroundings. That's when they spotted it. A massive orange creature moving through the trees. Standing between 8 and 10 feet tall, the creature's muscular frame and broad shoulders were unmistakable. Its facial features, a flat nose, dark eyes, and a heavy brow, were both human-like and alien. In its left hand, it held the bloody carcass of an animal, adding to the terrifying scene. For a few moments, Joseph, his girlfriend, and Tina were frozen in fear, unable to process what they were witnessing. Then, as suddenly as it had appeared, the creature vanished into the dense forest, leaving them shaken and eager to escape. The encounter left a lasting impact on all three. Tina, once a brave and protective dog, became timid and easily frightened. Even small animals seemed to trigger her anxiety, a stark contrast to her previous behavior. A visit to the vet confirmed that she had developed signs of trauma, though Joseph refrained from sharing the true cause. For Joseph and his girlfriend, the sighting was equally haunting. Growing up, Joseph had heard countless stories about Sasquatch, but never believed he would see one himself. Now, with first-hand experience, he felt certain that these creatures were more than just myths. As Joseph and Barb's stories spread, they joined a growing body of evidence suggesting that Sasquatch activity was far more widespread than previously thought.
Something's watching my dog.
Washington State, in particular, emerged as a focal point for sightings. The Olympic Peninsula, with its dense forests and uneven terrain, became a hotspot for researchers and enthusiasts seeking answers. The connection between modern encounters and indigenous legends cannot be overlooked. The Pacific Northwest tribes, including the Salish, Yakima, and Lumi, have long revered Sasquatch as a guardian of the forest. Their oral traditions describe a powerful being that avoids human contact but watches over nature with intelligence and purpose. These legends provide a framework for understanding contemporary sightings. Could the creature's behavior, its nocturnal tendencies, its avoidance of human settlements, be rooted in an instinctual desire to protect its environment? Or is it merely a result of its need for survival in a world dominated by humans? For the anonymous man, Barb, Joseph, and countless others, their encounters raise more questions than answers. Why does Sasquatch choose to reveal itself to some while remaining hidden from others? Are these creatures as intelligent as they seem? And if so, what motivates their actions? While skeptics continue to dismiss these stories as hoaxes or misidentifications, believers see them as pieces of a larger puzzle. The photos, footprints, vocalizations, and first-hand accounts all point to something extraordinary, a phenomenon that cannot be easily explained or dismissed. The debate over Sasquatch's existence is far from settled. For mainstream science, the lack of definitive proof, a body, DNA evidence, or irrefutable video footage remains a major obstacle. But for those who have looked into its glowing eyes or heard its haunting growls in the dead of night, no amount of skepticism can erase the reality of what they've seen. As more encounters are reported and new evidence surfaces, the mystery of Sasquatch continues to captivate the imagination. Whether a guardian of the forest, a remnant of an ancient species, or something entirely otherworldly, the creature remains one of the most lasting mysteries of our time. The endless debate and the legacy of Bigfoot sightings. One theory that emerged from the encounter was the idea of Bigfoot's nocturnal tendencies. Many believe the creature operates primarily at night to avoid detection, a hypothesis supported by the man's nighttime sighting. The glow of the creature's eyes, as captured in the photos, added to the mystique and suggested a possible evolutionary adaptation to its nocturnal lifestyle. But the timing of the sighting also raised unsettling questions. Was the creature stalking the man, or was its appearance a mere coincidence? And if it was watching him intentionally, what was its purpose? This sighting, along with others like Barb's and Joseph's, ties modern experiences to the ancient legends of the Pacific Northwest. Indigenous tribes have long spoken of Sasquatch as a creature that resides in the deep forests, emerging only when disturbed or curious. For these tribes, Sasquatch isn't merely a mythical figure, but a part of their cultural identity. Described as a protector of the natural world, it serves as a reminder of humanity's responsibility to respect the wilderness. These stories, passed down through generations, resonate with the encounters reported today, bridging the gap between folklore and reality. For Barb, life near her cabin remained anything but ordinary. Month after month, she encountered signs of Sasquatch activity. Knocking sounds echoing through the trees, vocalizations that seemed to respond to her own, and carefully arranged sticks and rocks left in noticeable places. She also reported seeing glowing orbs of light, which she initially dismissed as natural phenomena. However, as her experiences with Sasquatch deepened, she began to wonder if these orbs were connected to the creatures. Were they another form of communication? Or perhaps an indication of their presence? One of Barb's most unsettling realizations was the constant feeling of being watched. Even when she couldn't see or hear the creatures, she sensed their presence. This awareness of an unseen observer became a recurring theme in her life, leaving her both fascinated and uneasy. This feeling wasn't unique to Barb. Joseph and his girlfriend described a similar sensation during their hike in the Olympic forest. The encounter with the orange Sasquatch left them with an unshakable sense of vulnerability, as though they had intruded on something they weren't meant to witness. Advancements in technology have allowed researchers and enthusiasts to gather more data than ever before. Trail cameras, drones, and audio recording devices are frequently used in the hunt for Bigfoot. Yet, definitive proof remains elusive. Barb's cloaker footage stands out as one of the most interesting pieces of evidence in recent years. The way the figure seemed to shift in and out of visibility suggested abilities that go beyond what we understand about biology. To skeptics, this footage is too extraordinary to be believed, but to believers, it's a tantalizing glimpse into the true nature of these mysterious creatures. At the heart of every Bigfoot sighting is a human story. The anonymous man in Washington, Barb in her cabin, and Joseph in the Olympic forest all represent the deeply personal nature of these encounters. For them, Bigfoot isn't just a myth or a mystery. It's a presence that has altered the way they see the world. These experiences often come with a heavy emotional toll. Fear, awe, and confusion are common reactions, along with the struggle to reconcile what they've seen with the skepticism of others. Many witnesses choose to remain anonymous, fearing ridicule or disbelief. Yet, their stories continue to surface, each one adding to the growing body of evidence. Washington State remains a focal point for Bigfoot researchers. Its vast, dense forests and rugged terrain provide an ideal habitat for a creature that thrives in isolation. The Olympic Peninsula, in particular, is known for its high concentration of sightings, drawing researchers from across the globe. Organizations like the Rocky Mountain Sasquatch Team dedicate their efforts to exploring these areas, documenting evidence, and interviewing witnesses. Their work underscores the lasting fascination with Bigfoot and the belief that the truth is out there, waiting to be discovered. The anonymous man's photos, Barb's encounters, and Joseph's sighting all contribute to the lasting legacy of Bigfoot lore. These stories challenge our understanding of the natural world and force us to confront the possibility that we might not know as much as we think. For believers, these encounters are proof of something extraordinary, a creature that has managed to evade humanity's grasp for centuries. For skeptics, they are a reminder of the need for rigorous evidence and critical thinking. Regardless of where one stands, the mystery of Bigfoot continues to captivate, inspire, and divide. The forests of Washington hold secrets that may never be fully revealed. But for those who have gazed into the glowing eyes of the unknown, the experience is life-changing. Whether Bigfoot is a guardian of the forest, a relic of the past, or something else entirely, its story is far from over. And with every new sighting, the legend grows, reminding us that the world is still full of mysteries waiting to be unraveled.